Hi, my name is Ashley Sword, and I decided to change my current Ancient Greece summative assessment, which is a 5 paragraph persuasive essay, to be a student created film where students will create their own commercial. A little bit about the background of my class. I teach a 6th grade social studies course, and our focus is on ancient civilizations. In my class, I do have 4 English language learners, and when I was deciding what activity or project I wanted to fix, I really thought about these students the most, as I know that learning about ancient civilizations can be difficult for any 6th grade student, let alone those that are learning English as their second or third or fourth language. So I wanted to make sure that this project was more on the creative side of things, allowing students to really show their learning in a different way than just a 5 paragraph essay. Our school district is one-to-one, where all students do have iPads, which allows us as teachers to have many different applications for students to use throughout the day. And we do have access in our library media center to green screens that we can rent out, where students can film themselves, make their own videos, and create their own backgrounds to use, as well as sources that will provide students with textual evidence to support the city-state of their choice. Here's what my original assignment looked like. It was, as I stated before, a 5 paragraph persuasive essay where students had to choose a city-state, whether it be Athens or Sparta, and they had to persuade their reader which city-state had the better way of life. So as you can see from the rubric on the right, that it is a very basic summative essay rubric where I look for their main idea, I look for their transitions, I'm looking for their textual evidence, I'm checking their spelling, their capitalization, all of those pieces that make up good writing. It is very lengthy. It was a very lengthy project, and it was honestly very difficult for many of my students, so I thought that I needed to make a change. The new project I decided to create is a commercial where students will again choose whether they want to support Athens or Sparta, and they had to describe which one had the better way of life, and they had to persuade the audience members to live there as if it was during ancient Greece and they were choosing to live in either Athens or Sparta. So what I've used is Animoto to make a basic sample presentation I would show the students. I would explain to the students that I only used pictures in mine, but you are welcome and encouraged to include film, film yourselves, include different clips, animations, change the typography, anything that's going to make your project truly stand out while also including textual evidence. Animoto is a very easy to use application. I know a lot of other students have used in the past iMovie, and there's a lot of different other video applications they can use as well. So I'm going to show you what I made as my sample project. Again, it's only supposed to be a minute 30 or so to be a commercial, so enjoy. Some of the principles and concepts I took from this course that played a big part in how I created my new project are listed below. So the first that I will give to the students is a flowchart, specifically a storyboard. This idea came from a reading in our Moline textbook, where he discusses how students can use storyboards to organize their thoughts and use images along the way and see how their thoughts and ideas can connect in ways that they might not have seen at first. So I would give this to the students before allowing them to create their videos as a way to draw images that they want to include. So when they're looking for images on the internet or they're filming their videos, they know exactly what they want and where they want it to fall within their video. And this looks very familiar to actually how Animoto's set up. They kind of work in a storyboard format. So transferring the storyboard on paper to the storyboard in Animoto would be very easy for many of my students, especially my English language learners. Underneath, you can see that there is room for students to write. This can be where they write their textual evidence that they want to include in their video. And again, just a way to organize their thoughts before starting their project. And of course, we've discussed the importance of images, graphics, and film to support student learning. And I think that is what really drove my choice in my project. Was I wanted to give students the opportunity to express and display to me their learning of the concepts instead of a writing piece, as I know many students struggle with writing and focus more on the spelling and the grammar and lose sight of whether they've truly understood the concept of a city-state and the differences between Athens and Sparta. So this is a creative way to allow students to show their learning in a way that makes sense to them. And probably the most prominent concepts that appeared in my actual commercial is the video techniques when we discussed visual grammar related to TV and film. So 3 that I found most important that I could look for when grading student projects is their editing piece. Does their information flow nicely from slide to slide, from video to graphic? Did they include textual evidence in a way that makes sense? Does their typography visually affect their project in a positive way? Do they use colors and everything that's going to make their project truly stand out? Did they use transitions that allowed their project to flow nicely? And as you might have noticed in my video, I did choose a song that was soothing and I thought gave me the image of ancient Greece. So I'd be looking for them to be using the same and sound effects that could visually and really truly affect how their project came across and gave the audience members a greater understanding of what they are showing. Some of the technology pieces that we will be using is the iPad that they carry around with them every day. Maybe they choose to use iMovie, Animoto, or any other film application to actually create their project. So to kind of tie together how these changes will enhance my project is I'm moving from a written regurgitation of information through the 5-paragraph essay, which again is very lengthy, and moving towards a more creative display of their learning and in a way that will make sense to the individual student. There will be an opportunity for students to collaborate and communicate with peers if they so choose to work with a partner, which are 2 skills that students are constantly working on and are lifelong skills that they need. And the opportunity to analyze and discuss peer projects using appropriate discourse related to visual literacy. And this will come up when we are done with our projects. Students will be able to provide their peers with positive comments about their projects, things they liked, things they wish they did to their own projects, and discuss the details that they noticed, whether it was the pictures, the videos, the transitions in their slides, anything that really added to the visual appeal of their projects. I will be using 2 assessment tools during my project. The first and most important is the rubric. So I used a rubric before with my essay, and I changed my rubric to more so focus on the creative aspect of the project rather than the actual organization of the writing. So there still are 3 parts related to the textual evidence, as this is something we focus on in 6th grade social studies, but I've also added a piece about the attractiveness or visual appeal of their project. And in order to earn your 4 points, students have to make use of font, color, graphics, and special effects in a way that is going to enhance their project. So I'm really truly looking for who is adding that creative piece to show what they've learned. In order to assess the how my project helped my students or did not help my students, I will be using data from previous years, as I've used the 5-paragraph essay summative for the past 2 years, and so I will be comparing that data to the current year with their commercial projects and see if they were able to provide more textual evidence and truly summarize the difference between the 2 city-states as a whole. And I will be giving the students a Google Form survey that really gives me an idea of how they enjoyed the project, what they liked, what was difficult during the creation of the project, and what they would change for next time. This helps me get an idea of what I can change about the project in the future and enhance it in a way that is going to be beneficial to all of my learners. So overall, I really enjoyed creating this project. I enjoyed adding elements of visual literacy in order to enhance the learning of all my learners, but especially my English language learners, where vocabulary can be difficult to understand as it is, let alone adding it to a 5-paragraph writing essay. So I think this project will allow students a lot of freedom to express their learning in a way that is suitable for them, and allow students to also have time to compare projects and see how they use the same ideas in their presentation but use different images to express their opinion of that topic. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to incorporating this project into my curriculum. Thank you.